It's Storytime Tea. That's me. And today I'm here to tell you a story about how being too nice can get you a stalker. Or two. Because I definitely had two. Basically, I'm going to set the scene. It's my second year in college. My first year in college, I did all culinary stuff. And my second year, I was doing all of the regular people stuff, like the English, the math, the psychology. That's what I was doing that year. So I went from only being with people that's in my major to being with people from all over. And so I had to get used to that. But basically, once I was with the regular people, things got a little weird. Things got a little different. Like, my schedule was way different than it was because I was used to having like 5-hour classes, because whenever you have a culinary class, it got to be long because, like, who's cooking something in an hour? Like, a lot of the times it's just like we had an hour lecture and then it was like 3 hours of cooking and an hour of cleanup. So that's how the classes worked. And so now I'm going to regular classes with all the other people, and I had a math class. When I started math, I was not in the first math class, but like the second math class, because in poly, I had did like algebra 2 my first year or whatever. So then like I had a more advanced math my senior year. So I just ended up not having to do that like first little math class or whatever. So I'm in a second little math class, and Stalker 1, I met her. She was cool, I guess. A little weird, but I'm always just nice to people because I want people to be nice to me. So, you know, you put out what you want. And so I always be nice to her. She would sometimes like want to be like in my group or whatever. And we wouldn't have like real groups because it's math. What are you in a group for real? But like whenever you was like trying to explain some stuff or like understand some stuff, we'll like get together and talk to each other about it or whatever during class time. And so I'd be like, all right, cool. Yeah, you could come over here. Because I always knew what I was talking about. I had an A in that class the entire time. And I did really good on all the tests and everything like that. So I would be just helping other people when they needed help or whatever. If I could, because I wasn't really that good at explaining stuff. I would just be like, yeah, it's like that because of that. And it's just like either you got it or you didn't have it, for real. But I did my best. So she would always be asking me like, oh, should I do it this way? Or is this way faster? Or if I do this, will I still get the same answer? Stuff like that, whatever. And so I would always help her out or whatever. And she like just started like just trying to be around me, and I'm not trying to be around nobody because I had a gap right before that class. I had an hour gap, and I would always want to just be by myself, do my homework or whatever. And so like after I just was nice to her a couple of times, she thought that she could just come over and like talk to me during my hour gap, because apparently she had an hour gap too. And I'm just like, bro, go ahead. Because I'm trying to do all my work and stuff for my other classes, and my psychology class always had us doing something. So I'm just like, I'm trying to research some stuff, look up some stuff for this or whatever. Or it'd be like, I forgot to do my math class homework, and I'm just like, yo, I know that it looked like I got free time right now, but this free time is not actual free time. And so I'm just like, I need to do what I'm trying to do, and you over here trying to lollygag. I'm not over here for lollygagging. Like, let's go. And so she would just come over and talk to me, and I'm like, all right. And so like after a while, I just stopped going to the math class an hour early and sitting in there and doing my homework. I just stayed in my last class because I'm just like, I'm gonna stay in here. She's not gonna find me in here. Bro, tell me why she found me in there. Like, I'm minding my business. I'm in my last class. I'm cooling. It was oceanography, I think it was oceanography, and I would just sit in that class afterwards. I guess she looked for me a couple of times and she ain't see me in like the little regular spots where people would congregate and do homework and whatever. And so like once she couldn't find me, she just started looking for me. And one day I just saw her look into my class, and I was like, she did not just look at my class. And so I'm doing my heart. I'm like, no, please, yo, don't come over here. She's like, oh my gosh, hey. And I'm like, hey. And so then after that, I was figured out. And so she sat in there with me. Like, why do you not like read the room? Why do you not realize that I don't want to be around you? And it wasn't even like she was the worst. It was just like, I need to focus. I'm trying to do my homework. Like, I be worried about bigger stuff, and people be worried about being cute. I don't know. Like, getting to know people. Like, I was in college. I'm trying to get in. I'm trying to get out. I was not worried about that. And I'm like, bro, I got stuff to do, and you're taking me away from that, because now I'm like trying to do math and then also use a little bit of brain power to listen to whatever it is that you're saying so that I can respond. And I don't like that. So I was just like, yeah, I really don't like to talk to people while I'm trying to do my homework. But I see you in class. She was just like, oh, we don't have to talk. I could just sit here. I'm like, all right. Like, I was so mad. And she literally sat there and watched me, right? And so I'm just like, bro, I'm ready to bang you. And it was just like every week it was just making me more and more mad, yo. And so then it was just like the week right before Valentine's Day, I was just like, look, I'm not trying to talk to you, all right? You are a cool person, but I do not want to be around you all the time. I'm not trying to sit with you during my hour gap. I'm not trying to hang out with you after class. I'm trying to focus on what I got to do. And you doing a lot of not focusing. Like, I want you to go in another room and do your homework or whatever it is that you got going on. Text your friends. I don't know. Just not over here with me. Not over here with me, all right? And so she was just like, oh, okay. And I felt bad. I really did feel bad, but I'm just like, bro, leave me alone. And so she stopped being direct with the things she was doing and started being indirect. And then it just basically turned into her stalking me because it was just like she knew I didn't want her to be around and she would sneak and be around and do little things. And I'm just like, bro, what? Like for Valentine's Day, I came into the room. I sit at the spot that I always sit at, and it's a Twix. It was not, well, it wasn't one Twix. It was a bunch of little teeny ones. It was like 10 little teeny Twix. And this little Starbucks caramel thing, whatever. And I used to drink that all the time. I don't know why I had a Starbucks phase. But I wouldn't like get the actual Starbucks. I would just get the little one that was inside the bottle that was already in the refrigerator or whatever. So I get that and I sit there and I eat that. And I always had like some type of chocolate. Like I did not eat well in college. So she basically got my favorite chocolate and got the little Starbucks thing I always be drinking and set it at my thing and was like, will you be my Valentine? And of course I said no. Because I'm just like, bro, like, what are you talking about? Get out of here. But like, she wasn't getting it. Even though I was already so straightforward with her, she was not getting it, bro. And it was making me mad. Because I'm just like, you really distracting me. You taking me away from my path. Like, I was just getting mad, yo. And I didn't need to be that mad, but I just was mad. I just was mad, yo. I don't even know why. I just was mad. So I'm like, go ahead somewhere. And then, like, also on that same day, this guy from my psychology class, he was stalking me, but he was more of the creepy type, follow you around in the shadows type of stalker. And he left me a note on my seat as well. And it was in like the serial killer writing. Like, I don't know why he wrote like that, but it was the scariest thing ever. And it was like, will you be mine? And I'm just like, ew. Yo, it was crazy. And so I'm just like, bro, please go ahead. And then like, he just came up to me and was like, I left that note for you. And then ran away. Yo, he was like, I left that note for you. And just ran away after that. Like, he sat all the way in the front of the class over there. And, like, my signature is to sit in the back of the class on this side. So, it was just like, I just seen him sitting there the whole class. And then he kept on looking back like, it was so weird. Yo, I was dying. I'm just like, he for real. He is for real. I'm like, no way. And so then class ended and I was just like, I'm about to dart out of here. I'm about to get out of here. I don't want him to say nothing else to me. He was like, wait. Yo. I almost peed on myself. I'm just like, no way that's your actual voice. No way that's your actual voice. I'm like, bro, you sound like Hermit the Frog. Is that his name? Is it Kermit? Like, yo, it was crazy. I'm like, you sound like some type of Muppet or like Grouch, the little shorty that be in the trash can. Like, he sounded like somebody, y'all. He sounded like somebody, and it was not it. I'm like, you need to chill, actually. You need to actually chill. And he was just like, I've been watching you. I'm like, and you think that that's okay to say? You actually thought that that was like a good line. You've been watching me. You already left the death note at my daggone desk. I'm scared for my life at this point. And you talking about something you've been watching me? For real? So I was just like, oh, okay. Trying not to be creeped out. Trying not to seem any type of way because I didn't want to get murdered. And he was just like, yes, you just seem like the right type of girl for me. And I'm just like, what? I'm like, bro, what? And so he's just like, oh, well, I'm good for real. Well, that's how it was. I'm just like, I'm good. Like, I'm living my life, single, not ready to mingle, just trying to focus on school, whatever. And he's like, well, I seen that you didn't have a Valentine, so I figured I could be your Valentine. And I was just like, well, actually, somebody asked me to be their Valentine's Day earlier, and I was just like, yeah, she's very nice too. Just straight line, because I already knew that I did not say anything to that girl about being her Valentine. But I'm just like, I might as well just go ahead for real. It's like, he not gonna find a proof. Like, what you mean you didn't hear that I had a Valentine? Like, people just talk about somebody having a Valentine at school. Like, bro, I don't have friends up in here. I had 2 friends, and that was a guy named Rico that was sitting right next to me during the class, and then the sweet little white girl I loved. But that was it. That was it. Just them 2 people. I didn't have no other friends. So I'm just like, who was you talking about? Who told you that? Who told you I didn't have a Valentine? Nobody said that to you. You're just saying stuff at this point. And so he's just like, well, if you don't want to be my Valentine, it's okay. I understand. But I'll still be looking out for you. And I was like, okay. Thank you, though. And then I just got out of there. And so both of them, wow. And so the next day, after Valentine's Day came or whatever, he was like, behind the corner, like I was walking and I felt like I was being followed, and I'm looking back and I see him like behind the corner, and I'm just like, are you actually following me right now? Are you actually following me right now? And it's not like I was ever like going to go to my car and get kidnapped or something. I didn't even drive. Like, and my mama would come pick me up from school most of the time, so I was just like, bro, I'm not about to get kidnapped. But, like, you're being very weird. Like, you're actually being weird. And he was, like, a little chunky little fella. Actually, all right, do y'all know about the little toads? It was, like, 2 toads. It was, like, a light green toad and a darker green toad. And they used to have the little hats on. Like, little fedoras or something. If y'all know the toads I'm talking about, that man was built like them toads. And his head, everything, his body, everything. He looked straight like one of them toads. He looked like one of those toads and just sounded like the little Muppet Shorty. He was really a character. I cannot lie to y'all. He was really a character. And so he looked straight like that. And I look behind me and I just see him. And I'm like, bro, he's not really right there. And so then I walk a little faster and I look back, and then like he didn't have nowhere to hide that time. And so he just did like this with a book. I said, what? To escape him, and then I bump into the girl, and she's like, where are you going? Where are you so fast off to? And I'm just like, bro, I go from one evil to the next. What do you want? And she's like, seems like you're in a hurry. Why am I giving her that voice? She didn't sound like that, y'all. She had a real light voice, like Ariana Grande type shit. So she just was like, where are you off to? And I'm like, to just get away for real. Just try and get away. She's like, I can get away with you. And I'm like, girl, no. Like, I swear. Yo, I swear. Like, this whole, like, that whole semester was just wild. That whole semester was just wild. And so it's just like, they will really just be, like, picking turns who was going to follow me that day, or who was going to say something creepy and weird to me that day. Like, the entire semester. Like, they did not stop. Like, most of the time, he was just watching me and, like, just always being in places I was at. And then she would just always just be saying stuff that just made me look at her like, what, Will? And, like, she would do a little bit of following me, too. Like, I would just look back sometimes and she'd be right there just sitting, reading her little book. I swear, she was not reading no book. Neither one of them was reading no book. Like, they just had the book as a cover-up so that they could be in random places and then act like they're not doing nothing. Like, bro, I see you. I can see you seeing me. And it made me so mad. Because it's like, I really couldn't do nothing about it. Because, like, they ain't ever try to, like, hurt me or nothing. And so it wasn't really that deep. But at the same time, it's just like, at any point in time, I could say the wrong thing and you could just decide to end me. Like, or you could come back and shoot up the school. I don't know. So I was just like, I will always try to be nice, but at the same time not be too nice because I'm not trying to be inviting. I don't want them to be like, oh yeah, she wants me to be around. Like I let them know, like, bro, I don't want you to be around. But they didn't care. They didn't care. They didn't care. They didn't care at all. They just like, girl, boo. Like, we only want to hear the good stuff. We're going to ignore anything that doesn't align with our thoughts and our processes on things. Like, if it don't align with what I like, then I'm just going to ignore it and we're going to keep it going. You said I look nice today. Cool. I'm going to keep that. You said you wanted me back up. I'm not really going to listen to that. I'm going to go ahead and do what I want to do. Like, that's how they was. So, I was so glad when I got off that campus, yo. I was so glad. Because I'm like, y'all are really wilding. Like, and it was crazy because when we was doing our finals or whatever, I'm like, all right, I'm finally about to be done. I ain't got to worry about them. And they should be worried about their tests, so they're not going to be worried about me this week. Y'all, that's not what happened. Like, finals came and she sat right next to me, even though she knew I didn't want her to sit next to me. And she was just like, I'm really going to miss you. And then she rubbed my arm. And I'm like, did you just touch me? Yo. And like, I'm not saying, I don't even be caring about people touching me. But like, being as though she stalked me the whole semester, just kept on being where I was at, kept on like leaving little notes and stuff. I was just like, bro, no. Don't touch me. Don't touch me, you criminal. I'm like, no, this is not it. And I'm just like, I'm moving my seat. And so I got up and I left. And then she was just like, where are you going? Yo, I act like I did not hear her. And I just sat there and I took my test. And when I took my test, I got done before like most people because I knew what was going on. And I got out of there. I did not wait for her to be done. I did not try to do no homework or no studying before. No, I just got out of there. Because I'm like, no way. And so I left before she had a chance to like say anything to me. And then I went over to my psychology class or whatever. And this man was late to the final. And I'm like, bro, how you late to the final? I'm like, you're gonna fail. You're gonna fail. It was just like, it was a time thing. Like, she wasn't even giving us, I don't even think she gave us the whole class to do it. I don't remember. I just know I did good and I finished early. But yeah, this man was late to the final. And then after the final, I had left. Obviously, he wasn't done because he was late. And I had to go get some food. I'm at the crepe place. And this man pulls up with every crepe that they got, he got it. I don't even remember how many crepe flavors it was, but it was like 10 of them. He had every single crepe. And he came over and sat at the thing with me and was like, so I got these crepes for you, but I didn't know what kind you liked, so I got all of them. And I was just like, please leave me alone. Like, the psychology final was not my final. And I had a class where I had to do speeches and stuff. So I'm like getting ready for that. And I'm like trying to memorize all of the stuff that I had because it's just like, I want to memorize it because I don't want to have to look at the paper. Like, I need to memorize exactly every single word that I want to say. And so I'm trying to memorize that. And it was a long speech for it. It was like the longest one that we was having for the entire class. And so I'm like, bro, I don't have time to be cramping it up with you. Like, you need to back up. And he's just like, well, I didn't put anything in the crepes if that's what you're thinking. And I'm like, why would I think you put something in the crepe? I'm like, now I'm really not eating. I already wasn't eating it, but now I'm really not eating it. I want you to leave my table right now. Because I feel like that was a threat. Like, what you mean I didn't put anything in the crepes? Yo, I was not having it. Like, I was just so mad. Like, I was trying not to be mad, but like, I don't know. When things don't go my way, I just be like, come on. Come on. So I was not having it. And he was just like, well, you can have all of the crepes. I didn't get any for myself. I don't eat crepes. I don't really like them. They're nasty. And I'm like, not only are you going to come over here and give me these poisonous crepes, but you also going to critique one of the favorite things that I like to eat during these breaks? Like, what the fuck? I'm like, that's that's really crazy. How you come over here and you bash my sense of eating. Like, what? I'm like, boy, go here somewhere. Crepes are it. Crepes are it. All you gotta do is put the right stuff in them. So I was mad. And he was just like, yeah, I'm gonna go because you seem like you're busy. And I'm just like, yeah, I am. He was like, I'll see you soon. And he opened his eyes up like that. Yo, I was so scared. I'm like, what you mean you gonna see me soon? The semester is over. And he said the psychology class, like during the psychology class, he said that was his last class. So I'm just like, if this is your last class of the day, why would you be back? Why? Why would you be back? Like, you shouldn't be nobody's back. Like, you shouldn't be back. You shouldn't be back in this building. And honestly, I don't even know if I'm coming back. Because I ain't like the way you said that. But I had like a little technology class too. So it's just like, because I had a full schedule or whatever. So I'm just like, all right, if you see me, you see me. But if I see you first, trust and believe I'm getting jiggy. Like, you're not going to see me. If I see you first, you're not going to see me. Because I'm going to get low. So I was just like, yeah, I cannot just be nice to people. Because on that first day, when I said he had a cool name and I smiled at him, I guess that was too much. I guess I should have been like, oh, okay, unique. Maybe I should have said that. Maybe I should have been like, dang, that's a tough name. Dang, where you get that from? Who named you that? Why they name you that? Like, I guess I gave him too much excitement. I gave him too many words, too much kindness. Because after that, he was just like, yeah, she the one for me. And I was not the one for him at all. So it's just like, maybe I should like dial it back because certain people could not handle certain things. Like, maybe I'm just a little bit too nice to the wrong people and I just need to cool it for real. But I just be like, what I be thinking and be like, I'm gonna say it. Like, unless it's like something mean, if I think something, I'm just gonna say it. So if I think something cool, I think something look good, I think somebody look good, I'm gonna be like, yeah, you look good. I'm gonna say whatever I want to say. And I always been like that, but I started thinking, like, after that situation, I was just like, maybe I should relax on the things I say. Maybe I shouldn't say, you look like a nice piece of chocolate. Maybe that's a little bit too much. Maybe I should be like, oh, you look nice today. Because I really be saying stuff to people like that. I'm like, look at you. And maybe that's too much. Maybe I should be like, oh, you look very delightful. Or something. I don't know. It's just like, nowadays, I just be keeping it to myself because I be going a little bit too hard. I be describing things to people that they don't need described to them. I be like telling people in great detail, like how I feel about whatever they got going on. I'm like, yo, you fit? All right, let me explain to you. And then I just start going off. And like, some people can take a compliment and some people can't. Some people think the compliment means you want them. And then some people, they just aren't used to getting compliments, so you compliment them and they just like, and it makes them feel uncomfortable. So, yeah. It's just like, at this point, I just need to keep everything to myself and just let the world be the world. And then if somebody asks me for my opinion, then I'm just like, all right, I'll give it to you. But, like, that semester, like, I don't know. I was just a little bit too nice to everybody. And then everybody was thinking that we was going to be together forever. And I'm just like, that is not about to happen. And I think, like, after that, I ended up seeing him. I did end up seeing him. And I was walking to the crepe spot again. And he literally stopped me in my tracks. And he wanted to have a conversation about, like, our future. Bro, I don't even remember the conversation. It was crazy, though. The conversation was crazy. And I'm just like, our future? I don't even know your name. Like, I didn't even remember his name. Even though I said his name was so cool or whatever, I did not remember that man's name. His name could have been anything. He could have wrote it down on a piece of paper and be like, this is my name. And it could have been like, Jesus. I wouldn't have known. His name could have been anything. I don't even remember how that man looked for real. I just know he looked like a toad. That's it. That's it for real, y'all. Like, that's really it. And like, it's bad. It's bad. Like, my memory is bad, y'all. Like, after that, I was like, I hope I never see you again. I hope I never see you again. And I hope you don't stalk me when I go to other campuses. I hope that you don't ever see me again. I hope this is it. Because this is out of control. We don't have a future. And I don't want to be with you, okay? And I said it just like that with my little finger. I said, okay? And he's just like, I think that like you'll warm up to me eventually. I'm like, I'm not gonna have the time to warm up to you. We're not having no more classes together, and I'm not gonna see you no more. He's just like, we'll see about that. Bro, he said we will see about that. So yeah, y'all. I don't know. Dial it back on the sweetness, and also, you know, be clear about your intentions with people and how you feel about them. Don't give anybody more information than they actually need. I don't know. I guess that's my advice, y'all, because that was a wild semester. Yeah. And I never seen her again after that final, gratefully. But him, I did see him again. And I did not like it. And I felt like everything he said was a threat. So, be kind, but not too kind, y'all. And for me, story time tea. The tea is over.